I quit alcohol 10 years ago and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my whole life. I wish I'd done it sooner, but there were things stopping me. This is the video that I wish I'd seen before. Alcohol is such a strange topic because there are so many cultural beliefs about what you should do and about what's right to do, depending on where you live. So I'm from the UK and the British drinking culture is not very good. And when I was at university, it used to be all about drinking as much as possible. They were all like the stories around all the fun you'd have on alcohol, the stories about people being an absolute mess, completely losing their mind, being so drunk, then being so hungover the next day. It was almost like a form of communication to tell those stories. Something that kept me doing it, kept me involved in that whole culture, was subconsciously picking up the alcohol beliefs from the people around me. So I remember someone once saying, oh yeah, but you got to have fun. Like, oh, you can't not drink because you have to have fun. Because I was thinking about stopping, and I remember someone saying to me like, yeah, but when you quit alcohol you lose your banter, like your crack, like that, you lose the ability to joke around and have a good time. And so I feel like I subconsciously carried these beliefs around, and I believed that if I stopped drinking I would stop being fun, or I would stop having fun, or I would stop being able to like crack a joke. So much of this does depend on who you're hanging around with. Definitely when I was at university, the culture was like, it was not really okay not to drink, and the people who didn't drink were seen as the squares, the boring people. But I remember going for nights out and drinking soda and lime and telling people that it was vodka, soda and lime, because I just didn't want the conversation of there not being vodka in my drink and of having to explain why I wasn't drinking as if there was something wrong with me. It was so stupid. So I was going along, getting more into sport, getting more into health, starting to think, alcohol really doesn't have a place in my life. But because I was carrying around these limiting beliefs, these cultural expectations, I just carried on doing it. So one day I remember one of my friends who was a journalist, she interviewed someone about why they didn't drink. And it was this girl, Rachel, and Rachel's responses were so good that she became my teetotal role model. So Rachel was like, I just don't need it. I don't need alcohol to have a good time. I don't need it to be funny. I don't need it to relax. I don't need it to dance. I don't need it to sing. I don't need it to do anything. Whenever I used to drink, I'd wake up the next day feeling worse. I'd lose time. I'd lose progress. So if I don't need it, it doesn't make any sense. So having this teetotal role model meant I used to kind of channel her. I just stopped. And when I say stopped, I mean completely. I haven't touched it in 10, 11, 12, something like that years. And I don't plan on going back. And it's not like, oh yeah, I just have a glass of dinner, or oh, I just have a glass on special occasions, or anything like that. It's just nothing at all. It's just no. And it's so much better. Like, my life is so much better that I so wish I'd done it before. Now, alcohol doesn't even occur to me. I kind of forget that it's a thing that people even do. I don't need it to have fun. I don't need it to hang out with people. If you only have fun with people when you're drunk, you probably shouldn't be hanging around with them at all. They're probably not good people for your life. And what's better as well is you just find better, more interesting people. You find better stuff to talk about rather than just some getting pissed stories. And you feel fresh all the time. And you look fresh all of the time. Everything's better. Everything's better. I almost want to like send a message to my former self and just be like, stop now. Your whole life will be so much better. You will feel so much happier. You will feel so much joy. And not be reliant on this thing that just isn't serving you. Stop. Former Jodie, stop. One thing I've also realised since is that so much of the benefits that you think you get from alcohol are actually not from the alcohol itself. They're from the periphery benefits that surround it. So one thing I used to buy was alcohol-free wine. So imagine it's a Friday, I've had a tough week and I feel like, oh, I want a glass of wine. I would go to the cupboard, get out a wine glass. I would go to the fridge, get the alcohol-free wine out, and then I would pour it into the glass, and it makes that very specific noise, that like glug, 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 glug. And then I would sit down on the sofa with my glass and I'd be like, and then I would drink it and I'd be like, relax. And all the benefits felt like they were there. You don't need to have alcohol in something to get all the benefits of relaxing. It might just be that I wouldn't have sat on the sofa and chilled out otherwise. It might just be that the sound like switches my brain to some different relaxed channel. It might be just the idea that you're taking some time for yourself. It kind of doesn't matter. You don't actually need the alcohol, the poison, that's literally all it is, to have the same experience. So of course, you do you. You have to make your own own decisions. But if you are thinking of quitting, I am so unbelievably sure that you won't regret it. This is the video that I wish I'd had so that I could have done it sooner. Hope that's been useful. Let me know in the comments below if any of that resonated. I would love to know your experience, your thoughts, where you are at in your relationship with alcohol. And if you are part of a culture that has some strange customs that you almost feel obligated to get involved in, even though it might not be right for you, hit subscribe to see more videos just like this one, and I will catch you in the next one.